Yo, what to do, YouTube? This is your boy JP Marshall. I'll bring y'all another video today. I got the shades on, so you know I'm about to go in. I'm gonna have a mini update for my channel at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned to the end for that. But let's jump right into it. Let's talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. As y'all, if y'all watched my last video, y'all know that I love the NBA, and I talked NBA for the first time on my last video. So today we're gonna be talking more NBA. But we're going to focus on a couple of things. One, we're going to be talking about the MVP conversation, but I want to address something that is really annoying me at this point, and something needs to be said about it. And that's for those who don't know, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. They have, I believe, the fourth best record in the league at this moment. They decided in their back to back when they were playing in LA. They played the Clippers on Saturday. They played the Lakers last night. They decided to rest their big three against the Clippers, which was a nationally televised game on ABC, and play the big three on Sunday against the Lakers, which is confusing because I would have think that it would have been the flip flop if they were going to do that. But that's besides the point. This isn't the first time that the big three have sat a nationally televised game. As a matter of fact, this is the second time in a month that they've actually done this. They've also did it earlier this month against the Spurs, and it's really frustrating me at this point as a fan because as you know, even though my favorite team is the Boston Celtics, I'm an NBA fan and I love watching entertaining basketball, competitive basketball, and when these stars that are playing 82 games a year, I understand. We'll get into that in a sec. I understand, but I mean, like, come on, man, really? You need to take games off, like, really? This is ridiculous. It's actually insane. And the reason why it's such a big deal is because LeBron James, arguably the best player on the planet, I believe he's the best player on the planet, but that's besides the point. He's done this the most out of any player in the league this year. And people wonder why, why we make it a big deal when it's LeBron doing it. Over, say, the Clippers recently, they sat Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan against the Denver Nuggets. DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin against the Denver Nuggets on a non-televised game versus LeBron James sitting two nationally televised games within the last month. Which one is going to be more headline worthy? Oh, I know. It's going to be freaking LeBron James sitting. And I know I'm kind of disregarding Kyrie and Kevin Love because they did it too, but right now we're focusing on LeBron because Kyrie Irving has not done this as far as I know. I think maybe he's done it like maybe once or twice. But LeBron has sat a whole bunch of games this year, which is why I have him fifth on my MVP ballot when we get to that point. But as mad as I am, I mean, they're not breaking any rules. They're within the rules of resting their guys, and there's nothing that we can really complain about that regard because it is not against the rules. But we can't be upset as fans, especially those hardworking, money paying fans that go to the arena to go ahead and watch LeBron and these players play in a nationally televised game, and all of a sudden they sit. Like, why? I know why. I know why, but why? So it really frustrates me that we're at a point right now where these athletes train 365 days a year and they still feel the need to sit out games. I mean, back when I was younger, you know, Karl Malone, Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, all these guys, they were playing 82 plus games a season, no rest, no taking games off, no problems. But these athletes today, and people wonder why I say that freaking players in today's era couldn't hang in the 90s and the 80s. Y'all know why. Anyway, so what do we do? What does the NBA do to fix this? Unfortunately, we're stuck in a situation right now because they can't officially do anything about it until the next discussion of renewing the CBA, which isn't for a while. So, especially since they just signed a new agreement for the collective bargaining agreement. So, here's my proposal for that. First of all, do we really need 82 games in the season? Like, really? Do we need 82 games to determine who's going to be the best team in the league, who's going to be the number one seed in each conference, and things like that? Do we really need 82 games? No. We can easily determine that with between 65 and 68 games. Personally, I would love to see the season get tremendously cut and only play 58 games, but I'll give 65. 65 to 68. I think that that's more than enough games for us to be able to tell who the best teams are, who is worthy of going to the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. That alone, I think, will trim probably a little more than a month of the season because right now we're at a point where the season's almost ending at the end of June. Like we get like I think like maybe like a couple week break in between the finals and then the draft, and then we go into free agency period after the draft. So immediately that trims about a little more than a month off the season. So that means that we're ending probably middle of May at that point. But that's not the only thing we can do. We get to the playoffs. Do we really need to watch a 7 game series in the first round and the second round? Really? Do we really need that? If we easily just trim that, I mean, personally, I would love to see a 3-5-7-7 system. Best of 3 in the first round, best of 5 in the second round, and then best of 7 in the conference finals and the NBA finals. But I'll give it 5-5-7-7. Best of 5 in the first and second round, best of 7 in the conference final and the NBA finals. I think that also will trim some significant time. And also, why do we need like a week and a half period in between rounds? Also, like tighten that up. You cut the games and you cut the time in between rounds. That'll probably shave probably another couple weeks off the season. So now we're going from late June to mid May. And then we get to the actual preseason. We do not need 8 games. We only need 4. And we don't need a 3-week training camp going into the preseason. That could be trimmed to a week and a half, 2 weeks. So you take a week from training camp, you start the preseason, you take away 4 games. That probably takes away another week and a half or so. Now we're talking about the beginning of May. Like, it makes no sense to me why we have to have all these unnecessary games. So I think a 65 game season, trimming the first and second rounds to best of 5s, starting the preseason earlier, trim the preseason to 4 games, shortening training camp to 2 weeks instead of 3. I think that realistically we could have an NBA champion by the beginning of May, realistically. And that's my proposal. But unfortunately, Adam Silver and the NBA can't do anything about it until the next CBA is discussed. So I think that the only thing that Adam Silver can really do at this moment is to start penalizing the team. Start finding, give him a call it the Greg Popovich fine, where Greg Popovich a few years ago, he sent Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili home against on a road game against Miami. Deliberately sent them home, and he got fined $250,000. Make that the standard fine for coaches intentionally sitting their players and also dock the players a game check. If they don't play, they don't get paid. Plain and simple as that. Unless if it's for injury reasons. So with that being said, I think that's just my little solution to that. And that's my little rant about it. But let's go ahead and talk about the MVP. The MVP discussion is probably the widest that it's probably been in a while. I'll probably say maybe since 2008 when Kobe Bryant won it. Obviously, I felt that KG should have won it, but that's besides the point. We have legit 5 candidates that you could make a valid argument for the MVP, and you would not be wrong about your choice. So let's talk about the 5 MVP candidates. We have Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Isaiah Thomas, and LeBron James. Now, I briefly touched on why I have them in that particular order. Although in my last video I had Isaiah Thomas 3 and Kawhi Leonard 4th, I've moved Kawhi Leonard up to 3 and moved Isaiah Thomas down to 4 because he's actually been hurt. He's missed some games, and as I said, with LeBron, with him sitting out a lot of games this year, I have to penalize Isaiah for unfortunately being injured. So I've docked him down to 4. But let's talk about something interesting here. I watch Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. And I watch First Take. I watch Undisputed more because I find it more entertaining. That's my personal preference. But one thing that really be getting on my nerves is when Shannon Sharp jock rides the shit out of LeBron James. Sorry for the curse, but I probably won't be able to keep it 100% clean in this video, to be honest with you. But let's whatchamacallit. Let's digress. What gets me is that he'll talk about Russell Westbrook, his his low field goal percentage or his turnovers, and James Harden with his turnovers. And he'll praise LeBron for being a high field goal percentage shooter. The fact that he's bumped his 3-point percentage, I think, to 39% or something like that, maybe even 40, and things like that. But he won't talk about how LeBron is shooting 67% from the free throw line, or how the one category that he gets on Russell Westbrook and James Harden about in turnovers, LeBron James is actually third in the league in turnovers per game. And what I mean by that is most turnovers per game. I believe James Harden is around 5.8, Russell Westbrook is around 5.3, and LeBron James is actually at 4.2, which is third. Or it might be a tie for third because John Wall's up there as well. And the thing that gets me is that what was mind boggling to me is of the five MVP candidates that we have, their usage rate to and their turnover ratio is actually quite astonishing to me. And I actually have another name on here because he plays with one of these MVP candidates, and it's a very telling sign. So let's get it started. So we have Russell Westbrook. Obviously, he's going to be on pace for shattering the usage rate, the highest usage rate in NBA history, because obviously the team he plays on, he has nobody on that team. Let's be real here. Victor Oladipo, he's been a disappointment all year. Enes Kanter, kind of a down year for him as well. And those are his two best scorers. And one's average is 16 points per game, one's average is 13. And they've both missed significant time. But despite all that, and despite the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder is the third worst three-point shooting team in the league, they are just a half game behind the Clippers for the fifth seed in the Western Conference, and 2.5 games behind the Utah Jazz, who they've beaten 3 times this year, for the fourth seed. I have Russell Westbrook as my MVP right now, but if he climbs up to the fifth seed, or in even the fourth seed, if he gets to the fifth seed alone, that's a wrap. Nobody else has a legit argument. But if he gets to the fourth, if he gets a top four seed in the West, game over. Nobody's even coming close. It should be unanimous who the MVP is. But let's talk about their usage, the 5 MVP usage rate, and their turnover in terms their turnovers per game in terms of where they rank around among the NBA. So Russell Westbrook, as I said, going to be on record for shattering the usage rate in NBA history. Number one in usage rate, second in turnovers. To be expected. James Harden. At the time that I did this research, which was last week, James Harden was tied for fourth in usage rate with actually Isaiah Thomas, and he's first in turnovers. So okay, again, high usage rate, higher chance for having a lot of turnovers. Then we get to Kawhi Leonard, who is seventh in usage rate, but is 44th for most turnovers per game. Astonishing that he gets used that much and does not turn the ball over. Then we get to Isaiah Thomas. Like I said, at the time, he was tied for fourth in usage rate with James Harden. He's 17th in most turnovers per game. Then we get to LeBron. This is the thing that is mind-boggling to me. And this is going to be where things get crazy because I'm going to read the next name after LeBron. LeBron is 12th in usage rate, but he's third in turnovers. And to put that into perspective, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James' teammate, is ninth in usage rate, but 21st in turnovers. So the thing that Russell Westbrook and James Harden gets criticized about for them probably going to be shattering the record for most turnovers of the season. LeBron James not doing too great in that category either, despite being significantly used less than both of those guys and his own teammate, who was 21st in turnovers. Combine that with the horrible free throw shooting. Combine that with the fact that he freaking rests more than anybody in the league. How can anybody have this man in the top three of their MVP candidacy? Like I said, I got him fifth. So I don't even need to specify on LeBron. The reason why I had Isaiah originally third, but now I have him fourth for one reason only, because he's missed time. But also because the Celtics have dealt with massive number of injuries throughout the course of the year. Horford missed significant time with concussion. Avery Bradley missed significant time with his Achilles strain. We've had a whole bunch of other nicked up injuries, including Isaiah himself. But the Celtics somehow have themselves the second best record in the Eastern Conference, and I believe are just 2.5 games back of Cleveland for the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, which is shocking considering, like I said, number of players on the Celtics have missed significant time this year due to injury. Then we get to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's third on my list because he has the San Antonio Spurs overachieving, in my opinion, this season. I thought they would take a significant step back after the retirement of Tim Duncan, and you do the addition by subtraction of really the better offensive player at this point in Pau Gasol, but the better defensive player is Tim Duncan. But they're still rolling. They have a chance. They're at one point this season they were tied with the Golden State Warriors for the best record in the NBA, and I believe right now I think they're a game back of Golden State now for the number one seed in the Western Conference. Combine that with the fact that LaMarcus Aldridge had that heart scare. Tony Parker has regressed significantly this season. He's not even close to being the Tony Parker of old. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Even being coached by Greg Popovich, it is pretty impressive to see what Kawhi Leonard's been doing. And then I've been flip flopping between James Harden and Russell Westbrook as my 1 and 2 for MVP all season, but I've had them as 1 and 2 all season long. I started with Russell Westbrook, then I just went with James Harden because James Harden just bloomed off Houston, significantly overachieving. But they've been on a little bit of a slide lately, and with the rise of Russell Westbrook and the OKC Thunder, I mean, I have to have Russell Westbrook as my number one right now, and James Harden at two. Both of those guys, I would not go. I would not be mad if either of those guys win. To be honest, the only person I would be mad with winning the MVP at this point of the five down name is obviously LeBron for obvious reasons. But I'm not gonna say that he is not having an MVP caliber season. He is, but he does have the benefit of playing with two other all stars, two 20 plus per game scorers, including a 25-point per game scorer who just dropped 40. I believe it was 47 last night against the Lakers. Two double digit rebound guys, and he's playing with, I believe it is the third best 3-point shooting team in the league. And the quote skip, he needed help. But like I said, I digress on that. So that was just crazy to me when I was looking that up and everything like that about their usage rates and their turnovers and things like that. But this season's definitely been a lot more watchable than I thought it was going to be because, as we all know, Kevin Durant decided to be to be a bitch and go ahead and leave the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I had no problem with him doing. I mean, you're a free agent, you're free to go wherever you want, but you went to the team that beat you, and you're part of the reason why your team lost to that team, and you decide to go to them. It's like, come on, man. They just got finished with the best record and best regular season record in NBA history. Was one win away from winning the whole thing, and you go to them. That's the weakest move I've seen. That's to me, it's weaker than Ray Allen's move when he left Boston to go to Miami. So yeah, that's just it. Just a little covers the MVP and my take on the games and the wrestling of players and things like that, and what I feel the NBA could do to try to fix that situation. And now for the little mini update. Because of the inconsistency of last season, obviously I had to end my JP Rants series, but I will announce that it will be making a return. Like I said, it's going to be still kind of a little inconsistent. I'm going to try to upload as often as I can. But I do have the first 3 episodes lined up for season 2, per se, of my JP Rants series. It will be making a return. And obviously, I will be dropping the first one probably either tomorrow or Wednesday for sure. One of those days I'll drop the vid. And obviously episode 1 will be the one that I've been prolonging forever, and I need to address it now because the movie comes out on Friday, so I have to address it now, especially since I've seen a lot more of what's going on in the movie and everything like that, so I can give a better analysis of why I feel that, even though I feel that the movie is going to do successful because of the demographic that they're targeting, true Power Ranger fans are not going to like this, should not like this movie anyway. Like myself, and obviously the new Power Rangers movie that comes out on Friday, I'll be ranting about that in my first episode. Episode 2 will be me talking about Darrell Revis, Two Corners, Darrell Revis, and Richard Sherman. Both of those guys made headlines this offseason. Darrelle Revis obviously charges dropped against him, but he had a multitude of felony charges against him. And now he obviously got released by the Jets, so now he's on the open market. And the question is, will he migrate to safety? And if he does do that, what team will pick him up? If he decides to stay a corner, who's going to pick him up as a corner? And obviously with Richard Sherman, the Seahawks earlier last week announced that they would be active. They'll be trying to shop Richard Sherman to see what they can get. And I'm gonna give you the one team that I feel is the only team that I honestly feel that can trade for this man and be able to get the most out of Richard Sherman. But you'll have to wait for episode 2 for that. And then episode three, we're gonna talk about. Well, we're gonna talk about some NBA stuff. I don't know exactly what those NBA topics will be. I'll come up with a list and everything like that. And yeah, that's just kind of the mini update on the series and my channel in general. But I'll try to be much more consistent. Obviously, like I said before, because of difficulty of timing of being able to record videos. Obviously, I wasn't able to record consistently in season 1 of JP Rants, but I promise to be much more consistent in season 2. So that's pretty much it, y'all. If y'all enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. If y'all didn't, leave a thumbs down. Leave y'all opinion who y'all feel is the MVP of the NBA season, and also tell me your suggestions for what the NBA could do for adjusting the games and the back to backs and things like that for the NBA season. And like I said, leave those in the comment section below. My Twitter will also be in the description box below. You can go ahead and check me out there, and I'll probably be posting my updates and everything like that of when videos will be going live or will be the process of making videos and everything like that. And you can just follow in general. You know what I mean? I post some good stuff. You know what I mean? I like to rant on there from time to time, even though 140 characters ain't enough. But if y'all enjoy a little rant, go ahead and follow me there. If you just want to follow me in general, go ahead and, like I said, the description box below. And like I said, that's it, y'all. Have a great day, y'all. Continue to stay blessed. And as always, this is your boy, JP Martial Law, signing out. Peace.